Hi there, my name is Theking4mayor. I'm the host of the iLibertarian radio podcast and a political commentator, and I'm here today to talk about food stamps. Food stamps is something that I've been on before. I'm not on them right now, but there was a time when I was working full-time, 40 hours a week, uh, at the rate of minimum wage in the state that I was in, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to make my ends meet. In fact, once I discovered this, and everybody who worked at my employment office ended up being on food stamps too, because we all realized, oh, we all qualify for food stamps because we don't make enough money to pay our rent. Uh, and well, we did make enough money to pay our rent, but not enough to eat, which was the issue. And so yeah, so for a while there, I was on food stamps myself, and I think it's a great program. I think it's a great idea to have food stamps. Um, what this video is about is some of the negative comments that have been going on about food stamps from Republicans, Tea Partyists, and other, right wing libertarians, because there are left and right wing libertarians, but particularly there's some very right wing libertarians who are against food stamps, and they make these comments and arguments about how the person who is buying food with food stamps in front of them in line at the grocery store has an iPhone, you know. Um, First off, it's none of your business how they're paying for their groceries. That's no concern of yours. So stop being such a nosy person. Secondly, just because someone has an iPhone doesn't mean that they're well-to-do. Okay, iPhones, they're basically giving them away, and you don't know if their iPhone is this year's model or last year's model or from the year before, or if they got it free when they got their phone contract, because you have to have a cell phone in this day and age, especially if you're looking to move up in the world and to earn more money and get yourself off of food stamps. Then you need to have a cell phone, and you have to be able to answer that call when it comes when you're looking for employment. And it doesn't cost any more to have an iPhone than it does to have any other kind of phone, because the service is for transmitting through the airwaves. You're not going to be paying any more depending on what kind of device you use to do that. You're paying for the service. And oftentimes you'll get your iPhone free when you purchase the service. It happens to me all the time. I go in, to pay my phone bill, and they're like, oh, you're scheduled for a free phone upgrade, and they just give me the latest technology. It happens, and it doesn't mean that this person is getting food stamps so they can go out and buy an iPhone. That's not the situation. Um, the other thing I've seen people argue about is, well, if that person's on food stamps, then how come they're spending, how come they're buying that pack of cigarettes with cash, or that bottle of wine, or that six pack of PBR, you know. Life is tough, okay? It really is. And when you're in a stressful situation, um, to be able to spend $5 on a six pack of beer or a pack of cigarettes um, is really is worthwhile. And to think that, because people are not, um, you know, people are not financially well off, that they have to suffer and be miserable, I think it's ridiculous. And so they happen to like to drink a six pack of beer over the weekend, instead of spend $12 to go out and see a movie in the movie theater, or to have cable TV or whatever else it is that people do to relax. I mean, let's be honest, okay? It's a $5 pack of cigarettes, okay? Let them have their cigarette and take 5-10 minutes, a couple times a day out of their horrible stressful lives. Okay, let's try to be humane here in our comments about these things. Um, Now, I don't want to just say, these are bad people for, pointing out these issues, even though they're, very much first world nation issues. But nonetheless, it's an issue. So that's why I'd like to propose this solution. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm glad to be able to do this video to present this idea. And that's the idea of food stamps for everybody. You know, food stamps for everybody. Let everybody have what I think it's $200 is the going rate in any state for food stamps. So let's give everybody $200 to spend on food, and that way we know that nobody is starving to death. Um, and if they already are well off enough that they can buy their own food, well, guess what? Then you can buy better, healthier food because you have that extra money that you can spend only on food. Um, and that'll help reduce our healthcare costs. And I think that would be great too. And we already subsidize the farms as it is. It doesn't matter if you're a little mom and pop farm or if you're a mega, conglomerate like Monsanto's. The government gives them billions of dollars every year in farming subsidies. So, I mean, no one ever says, "Hey, Monsanto's, you're a mega conglomerate that makes hundreds of billions of dollars every year. What do you need a government subsidy for?" No, nobody ever says that. They don't, because I mean, it would just sound ridiculous. So why don't we just give everybody that $200 a month that they could only spend on food? Hopefully they'll spend it on high quality, healthy food, and we'll call it a subsidy. We'll call it a point of purchase farming subsidy, because that's what happens. The money eventually goes to the farms or along the economic route that eventually ends up at the farms. And we're giving the farms money anyway. Why don't we just do it this way where everybody benefits from it, and our whole economy can benefit from it instead of just the few people who happen to own farms, which is becoming fewer and fewer in this day and age as the conglomerates take over. And also, it's a good way to look at what Americans are eating. We have this. It would be a great information system just to say, okay, this is what America's diet is like. This is what everybody's eating. Are they spending all their money on junk food? Are they spending it on fish or vegetables or whatnot? And instead of this way we can find out what's in America's diet, what is it that they're lacking from their diet, and what kind of things do they want to see from the grocery store. Are people buying organic food? Are they buying GMO food? What are they spending their money on? I think is the information you would get from this program alone would be more than valuable, to see what everybody is eating, not just starving people with no money who are trying to get as many calories as they can out of a couple $100, which is all they have to spend on food. We get a better sense of the mental process of buying food for all Americans if we were to adopt a system like this. So that's my solution. This would stop people from saying, oh, they've got food stamps. Well, yeah, everybody's got food stamps. And it takes care of our farms, it takes care of our people, and it gives us a great information resource into the health of Americans. And so that's my proposal. Again, my name's the King for Mayor. You can check out the iLibertarian podcast on my website, theking4mayor.com, or you can just type iLibertarian into Google and look it up. Thank you very much for listening today.